Righty. That's okay.
We're screwed.
How will we ever live without Twitch?
Oh, good morning. Heather, show before the show. Was it Thursday?
Yes, it is.
It's a weird week to me. It's a weird week.
Yeah.
The Matrix is all messed up.
For sure.
White House slammed for refusing to answer questions about Hunter Biden. The worst president, along with the worst vice president, along with the worst House Speaker, along with the worst AG, along with the worst DOJ, along with the worst, the worst president's family.
For sure. It's the worst.
I mean, you can't get any worse than what they have there.
No.
Can you?
I
mean, they're all just the worst.
They are.
Unqualified, corrupt. Good morning, Ben. And Trisha and Karen. We had a good time over at Winty's the other night.
We did. We did have a good time.
You and your husband came over?
Yes. It's always a good day to go to Wendy's. Always.
Always. Good
Always
morning, Sherry,
day.
Lizzie, Megan, Greg, Mandy. Yeah, I heard there's this guy. I'm trying to find him again. I started following him recently on Instagram. He's a doctor, a health doctor. And then go figure, lots of people who I know follow him already. I'm trying to get him on the show. Dr. James D. Nicolatonio.
I like that name.
D. Nicolatonio. He's a doctor of pharmacy, cardiovascular research scientist.
Nice.
Evidence-based nutrition. I was reading some of his stuff the other day. He's like, don't even bother drinking coffee unless you're an hour and a half into your morning because of the way that the body system works when you wake up. He's like, it's not affecting it. All you're doing is killing yourself for later in the day.
Right. That's true.
And he is big on salt. He's like, this doctor, it's a myth of salt.
Oh,
he's like,
love him already.
I know. He's like, he's 80 to 90% of people are dehydrated.
Yes. So you need salt. You definitely need
and salt's the cure. I was like, oh my, he's like in the morning, it's water and salt water, at least for the first hour and a half.
You know what I do is I just drink water and then take a whole bite of pretzels. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just take pretzels and then I feel really good.
Oh, I just saw Sherry say, can I take my German Shepherd puppy into Winty's? Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
On the patio, 100%. They got a massive patio too.
Their patio's awesome.
It's with jet plane propellers out there for fans.
I know. They're so huge. It's such an inviting
Hey, good morning, Trisha, Doreen. Said hi to Ben. Hi, Sasha. Hi, Addie. Peter, what's up, dude? I think you're back. You still back in town, my friend? Peter lives in Mexico, or he's in Mexico now. Mexican national, or what?
Is he still an American citizen, or can he have dual citizenship?
Peter, yes, I believe he can.
Very nice.
I believe he can. We got a packed show. We're our first guest today. We got another one at wait a minute. Oh, Greg C says with diacetomania pots, it's highly suggested to increase salt intake for volume.
Makes sense to me.
Till mid-August, Peter's here. Now, and I always felt better. I remember because there was people like, yeah, you're putting too much salt on your food. All the sodium. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, and I believe it. It's another one of those damn myths. I'm not a doc, and somebody will probably, oh, Vic, you shouldn't say that. I'm telling you, I always feel better. And then now that I know it, I have some confirmation.
Yes.
Just bring the salt on, baby.
Yeah, bring it on.
Your body actually needs salt to process potassium.
You know, my doctor did tell me that. Because I've had one doctor tell me no salt, another one saying,
yes,
give me the salt shaker.
Dr. Faust. I identify as Dr. Faust.
Mm-mm-mm.
Do it. Try it first.
And iodized salt, because a lot of people are iodine deficient.
Well, there you go. Dr. Projo.
Hi, Roberta, Donna, Anthony, and Karen. Karen with a C, or Corinne, Joanna. Sadly, my daughter has high blood pressure and has to reduce her salt intake. That's the flip side. But would it help?
So here's what I do, and I have hypertension, high blood pressure. I take a potassium supplement, and I don't have to watch my because potassium processes the salt.
Yes.
Salt is healthy for you. It's just you have to have the potassium intake also. I do a lot of research on nutrition, especially with my condition.
Do you pound salt?
No. I just don't really actively watch it. And before, when I watched my sodium intake, my blood pressure was out of whack. Now that I've actually take potassium and eat salt at a regular base, like I don't eat excessive amounts, but I also don't really watch what I eat when it comes to salt, and my blood pressure is normalized.
Good for you.
Yeah, I get you. Hey, Jeff, good morning. Jeff says we're tired of talk. We want action.
Yeah, we do.
Drain the swamp. Action. I know. Scalise was asked that on Fox News this morning. He's like, we're trying. There's certain protocols you have to follow. You just can't go in and pick people up and take them out of an office. I mean, unless we start a civil war again, and then here come the police. It sucks, but we'll get into some of the Hunter Biden stuff too. Lots to get into. All right. Oh, it's 8:03. We start talking about all that stuff. But my point was, I've given up morning coffee. I'm drinking the salt water. I feel great for the first hour and a half, and then trying the coffee after.
Yeah, that's good.
Not relying on it, but teach their own, find your deal.
Salt actually also helps with hydration.
Yes, it does. Like if you're running or do any athletics, you need salt right afterwards.
I know. I know.
You got to have your salt.
It's been hot in the St. Louis area, all across the Midwest, that's for sure. And I do the running when I can. Running from 2 jobs. All right, let's go ahead and start the show then. Let's rock and roll. It's a good Thursday. I'm sorry.
It's funny. You have to admit it. It's funny.
It's Friday Eve, people. It is cancelthis.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. We have a blast around here. We do. I love our graphic today, or our thumbnail, to be more. I always call it graphic. It's actually a thumbnail with a description, Vic. It's not a graphic. There it is. Sniffing out the Biden family corruption.
So good. That is so good.
Denise, Alex, whoever did that with raising sales, I like that. That made me laugh this morning. Love it.
That's great. That's a good one. That thumbnail, I call it a graphic too. I know it's a thumbnail, but I like the word graphic.
I saw our guest jump in, John Holtke. He's going to jump in about 8:15. John, if you can hold on a second, or maybe we'll jump into you first. Let me get through here what we've got coming up. You're already in there. We'll see what we have.
Yeah, we'll do him first.
We'll jump in and get that going. This is cancelthisshow.com. We're ready to sniff out the Biden corruption, just like Judge Noriega did yesterday with Hunter Biden. I was happy. I was sad. I was happy. I was sad. I was up and down and all around. I didn't know how to take this yesterday, just from the sheer fact of I've heard every legal expert give expert opinion, and there's people on all sides of the issue. Whether it's a good thing, it was a bad thing. We'll get into the Hunter Biden situation. There is one thing, though, with Hunter. He's got major issues still coming down. And now the Biden White House is separating themselves from their loving son. Biden is now saying in a statement through KJP that, well, he's trying to sort his life out. Now, this is his personal situation. It's not our family situation anymore. It's our personal. And now Biden has come back, Dad, the big guy, and said now they're trying to say, well, I've never had business dealings. Now he's not saying he hasn't talked to him anymore because obviously we have evidence of it.
Correct.
As you, the listeners, are saying, drain the effing swamp already. It's time to get going.
Yes, it's annoying. It's annoying.
But we'll get into that. Boy, I don't know if this UFO deal is just a distraction or what. But as we've talked about on this show, we try to point out things, cover all sides of the story. There was a lot. We got some sound bites. There was a lot that came out. Basically, the guy, the whistleblower, is saying, yeah, we have alien life. We have biologics of alien life. I mean, these things are happening
everywhere.
DC.
I mean, it is a clown world.
So we got that, Lizzie. We've got the whole situation regarding the Bidens coming up. And then another situation here. I mean, I don't want to revel in people's horrible situations, but Mitch McConnell,
oh, poor man.
He's really done a lot of bad things in politics, especially to the Republican Party.
Yes.
And he refuses to step aside, even though his own state, even though America, the last time they asked him if they asked people in polling, American citizens, if they wanted, no, it was like 80% leave.
Right. Get out of here.
And he would not leave. And he had a massive malfunction yesterday.
He did.
And I mean, you want to talk about short circuiting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was really bad.
Bad.
Another funny soundbite from Kamala Harris.
Wow, I thought that we were watching the clip.
Oh,
I thought it was her right in the studio with that cackling you got going on.
She cackle. And then we have an alien on camera today listening to genders and figuring out what's wrong with America.
There's so much wrong.
Hey, by the way, if you guys know of anybody, we wanted to get our own selves straight first, but now we have multiple people, multiple individuals, companies are asking about renting the studio, doing shows here, being a part of our network, because we're building a network, and I think we've got one show already.
We do.
For sure. Two more that have given us verbals that want to be a part, maybe a third. Many people renting the studio.
Yes.
I mean, we need to keep Joe busy.
Joe is going to get real busy real soon.
Do this.
Yes.
But anyway, just contact us. Lizzie, myself, Joe, anybody, just contact us. Let us know whatever's easy. If you know of somebody that's looking to start podcast, get involved, rent studio space, be a part. We're also going to utilize the reach that we have now. We're very proud. We talked about the over 500,000 audience reach we've had the last 30 days. In regards to, putting a network together, pushing that out, and helping people get started as well. So one-stop shop, we can do it for you right here. We just want to let people know that is a possibility. So Nancy said, Vic, you did that laugh a little too good.
He did.
It's because I've heard it so many damn times.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and do impersonations. And I dreamed of someday doing an impersonation of a woman. Like Kamala Harris.
There you go. Your dream came true.
My ultimate dream. And yes. I still can't believe that woman had such a high position in California. Blows my freaking mind.
It is California.
Guys, thanks for jumping in. Once again, we're 8 to 10, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. And a big part of our live podcast, whether you're listening live or whether you're catching a little bit later, is the interaction of those who are jumping in for the situation that we have with our shows. Jeff says, I can't wait for Jesus to return. Yeah, a lot of people are right there.
Right, I'm with
what you see happening all across this country. So with that being said, real quick, before I want to do this, don't go anywhere. We've got our guest, John Holtke, coming right up from Austin, Texas, with a study of what we're starting to see with Nazism happening in America. You can't just go, that stuff wouldn't happen anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I just want to show our show sponsors. John will come right back with you right after these messages from our partners. Please support them. Let them know that you hear about them and you appreciate them being a partner for canceltheshow.com.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
Jonathan, what does make Rockwood so special?
Rockwood, we carbonize it higher than anybody else does. So we're cooking out everything that produces ash, smoke, anything like that. It gives you a lot more control over the temperature, a lot more control over the fire, and it's 100% Missouri product.
All right, where can people get it?
It's at 100-plus locations around St. Louis, any Deerberg, Straub's, meat markets, wine and cheese stores, hardware stores, you name it, we're around St. Louis. Just check the website.
And good charcoal should be able to break apart in your hands like
absolutely,
Rockwood does,
yeah.
right?
If you can't break it apart by hand, it's not charcoal yet. It's still wood. They didn't do the job, so make sure it can break apart by hand.
All right, get your Rockwood charcoal.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
Hey guys, welcome back to CancelThisCancelThisShow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo, running all the boards as always. Anyway, it is a Thursday, July 27th podcast edition of CancelThisShow.com. Bart Wayne, Bart is coming up at 9 o'clock. He's an in-studio live guest. Great story, really, of going through a lot of tragedy, self-induced, coming out of it, and then really believing you could never sing, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, God gave me a voice now.
What a miracle.
Now he's singing. He's pretty damn good. He's got
it.
a concert coming up at Busch Stadium, part of a concert, Boots at Busch, August 15th. He'll be live in studio to share a little bit of stuff with us about that. He's not an excuse maker either when it comes to, what you got to do when, when you make mistakes.
You make mistakes, and we all do.
So, and going the easy route on people is not the way.
No.
Like cashless bonds. Like,
Right.
oh, yeah, we're not going to worry about that anymore.
Ugh.
Anyway, he's coming up at 9. We talked about the Mitch McConnell stuff. We'll get into Hunter Biden, UFOs. We're packed. And if it wasn't enough with everything that's going on, we now join John Holtke. And I'm glad, John, you reached out. Oh, he's got a Chiefs banner in the background. Oh, my gosh. Check out
Love
the
it.
Chiefs.
Woo.
Hey, by the way, John, before we get started, did you see on Travis Kelce, one of the best football players in the NFL? He does a podcast with his brother, super, super popular. He said he was bummed out because when Taylor Swift a couple weeks ago was in Kansas City at Arrowhead for a show, he really thought he was going to get a chance to meet her. She's really big into bracelets. Well,
Yes,
he had
yes.
a bracelet made
Aw.
with his number on it that he wanted to give her, and she wouldn't meet with him.
Oh, what a bummer.
He's like, I was pissed. He's like,
I bet.
but apparently Taylor Swift doesn't talk to anybody before a concert or after so she can save her voice.
That does make sense.
Yeah, it
that
does.
makes sense.
Hey,
Or a
John.
good excuse anyway.
John, welcome into the show. I'm curious, how did you find us, and why did you reach out to Lizzie? Because we're grateful that you reached out from Austin, Texas.
Well, I'm a Kansas City boy, so I spent a lot of time in St. Louis. I worked in Maryland Heights, in the area that is right close to Dave & Buster's, and the whole express thing.
Yeah.
For the
No,
love St.
Expressway, we got you.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
familiar with the area.
Yeah. Back in 93, 94, I opened the Hellsberg Diamonds in Chesterfield Mall.
Hellsberg
in
Diamonds.
Rivers.
Oh, yeah. Very
Hellsberg
nice.
value.
So you live in Texas now, but you've lived in Missouri, correct?
I lived in Overland Park, Kansas, actually.
That's a horrible place. Such a dirty, nasty place.
You know what? I know, and we don't apologize for it, but we will accept any donations you have.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually-
There you go.
For those who haven't been to Overland, that area, leave it. It's so darn nice.
Yeah,
well, John,
it is nice.
you study certain topics and you like our show and you think that what the messages we're trying to get out would be perfect for a subject. And when Lizzie said you were talking about Nazism going on, we're like, bring him on. Dive right into it, my friend.
Can I share?
Yes, please go ahead.
We're going to kick off with this whole thing, and I put together a PowerPoint for you guys just to kind of share.
John, I don't want to go to school today.
Vic doesn't like school. See,
no, I did enough of that through graduate school.
There you go. There you go.
All right. What do you
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says before the internet and podcast.
Yep. That's where you guys come in, right?
Right. Okay.
So the whole story of I found stream of influence, I think. Here's all my sources just to be upfront. Here's kind of something funny.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet just because there's a picture with a quote next to it. You know, there's a good point. A lot of people, just because they see it anywhere, it gets into their brain and then they think it's gospel truth. They think it's gospel. They sure do.
Exactly. So everything I'm going to present here today to you guys, I not only got off the internet, but I went to the actual library and actually did old school research on all these quotes and stuff. So.
Okay, we'll jump right into it, buddy. Let's go.
We're going to go. A lot of your stuff that affects us today was people born in 1808, 1813, 1818, 1888, which isn't really a surprise since our whole Constitution was founded by people who were born long before that. But if you actually look at Jefferson Davis, the Democratic Senator and President of the U.S. Confederacy, he was a slave owner. And why do so many people still to this day cling to the Democratic Party, right? Wagner was a composer. He was an ardent white supremacist and left-wing activist. He composed The Ride of the Valkyrie, which, if you remember in Apocalypse Now, was the song they played out of the helicopters, right? Karl Marx, father of influence in socialism and communism, he proposed violence, just violence. I'm going to show you how much violence in a minute. He armed Belgian workers and was exiled and prosecuted himself from these countries. In 1888, an American musician called Huddie Ledbetter encouraged people to stay woke. And that was actually the origination of the word woke. I don't know if y'all had covered that.
No, what was the origination?
Huddie Ledbetter. He was a musician. His claim to fame was actually he had a 12-string guitar that he could play. And if you actually go back on some of the recordings he made, he was a musician. He was also spent time in Texas and Louisiana prisons for murder and aggravated assault.
Yeah, so that's 1937 to 38 is when he started promoting the word woke.
Yes, that's where that's where actually the history of woke actually comes from. And
I didn't realize it was that old.
It is old. And
I didn't realize that.
I didn't either until about a year ago when I started researching it. Where did this word come from? And so it actually comes from Huddie Ledbetter. And so hopefully through this, I'm going to show you some connections. Going into all this, Jefferson Davis attributed to all the Civil War Union casualties. On the flip side, Lincoln did the same thing. Davis condemned the emancipation of the slaves, while Lincoln, freed men through the emancipation. Wagner himself attributed to 17.2 million deceased through his inspirations he provided to the Nazi Party. And that's probably going to be the last time you're going to hear me use the word Nazi, because I'm going to refer to it as a Third Reich throughout this presentation.
Well, how long is how long is your presentation? And I mean that in a respectful manner, just to make sure we get an idea, because I didn't know we had a PowerPoint too.
I didn't either. And most of the time, you would do better talking to us instead of a PowerPoint, because I don't know what this is with once we become an adult, once we see a PowerPoint, we check out. We just don't want to hear it.
What are you attaching us to here, Bud, John, in regards to the history to where we are now?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you where the paths actually connect the dots.
All right, that's awesome.
Okay, great.
All right. So Karl Marx, you have Honey Ledbetter there. They all attributed to violence and death, right? Here's the actual schematic. If you actually trace the lineage, you have Jefferson Davis going down through Nathaniel Bedford Forrest, helped build the KKK, influenced ignorance, all the way down to Albert Gore and Robert Byrd, who are senators, for our great government. Wagner, his attributes, his legacy, his trail, they all lead to one place. They all lead to Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris. Basically, the Democratic Party hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed in years.
No, but this is a new way of looking at it, because you also have over on the right-hand side the musician, Huddy Ledbetter, who was African-American. He influenced George Harrison. And, he influenced Karl Marx, being on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And that all went into William Ayer's book of How to Take Over Democracy.
I think people like my parents kind of understood that was going on. They didn't call it woke. But I remember my dad really liked the Beatles. And then when he realized they were, quote, so woke, he had a more difficult time with them. He didn't call it woke back then. He just called it that they were pushing propaganda.
Yeah, it was hippieism back then, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
And, but here's the actual lineage. If you're going back to the 1800s into the 20th century, and here's where, even Wycliffe Jean, who's a rapper, and Kurt Cobain in the late 90s, we recorded a lot of Huddy Ledbetter's stuff. And that all went into the influences, not only to Bill and Hillary, but also to the following administration with Barack Obama. And kind of trickled down from there. And then you get the deep state somewhere in there.
We do. And there's so much here. And that's what I was trying to say is, as we get into this, we have about, 10 minutes. That's why I was asking about what kind of presentation, because I had no idea you were doing this detailed, which is incredible work,
it is
my
incredible.
friend. I love
It's
the incredible work. But I just want to make sure you can get to everything you have here in about the next 10 minutes.
Well, and could you tell me what you and I were chatting about? Is you were telling me that there's connections from what happened in 1930s Germany all the way up to what happened to our shutdowns in 2020, and how it devalues people. And please tell us about how that connection is, why we have Nazism right here today. I know that you have all of this background, but I want you in just like a simple summed up thing. How in the world did that happen?
Well, so you have Huddy here. You have Karl, who was a music appreciation person. You have Wagner, who was composer himself. Then you have the KKK, right? But at the end of the whole thing is that the reason I think people freaked out last week on Jason Aldean is because 2 out of those 4 people were musicians, right?
Right. Yep.
So at the end of the day, anti-fa is more fa than anti, and here's the taxes of fascism. And this is where we get into the Nazi stuff. So anti-fa actually is a fascist organization. Even though they say they're anti, they are.
Right.
No.
Antifa is the fascists.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's some Third Reich statements I pulled out from Adolf Hitler himself, compared to modern day examples and quotes. When Hitler said they are race tuberculosis of the peoples, Hillary said they are bastard deplorables. That was an entire intentional comment meant to dehumanize and
Right. They want to dehumanize us. That's the whole thing. And they did do that in 2020. People were, I know my daughter who's 14, when she had the mask on her face, she didn't say the word dehumanize, but she said, Mom, I felt like my self-esteem was going down, that they were trying to hide my face. And so it's very much like what went on back in Germany. We're living it the same way in current day.
And John, one other question for you, since you've done all of this work, and this is
beautiful
awesome, incredible, in-depth work. Is there any because people can't read your PowerPoint, believe it or not, it's difficult. We're starting to hear that a lot. However, is there a way where people can get on your website and get this and kind of educate themselves on all this work you've done?
I'll send it to you. I actually don't have a website that would actually, do this. I don't do this for a living. So,
if you send it to us, is there a way we can put it out somewhere, Joe? Can we put?
Yeah.
Because we would put it on our website so people can see this because it's great educational material. Now that one I can see a little bit better, but people are saying they're having difficulty reading it, and that's why.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was actually worried about that, but I think on this one. Hitler said, when an opponent declares, I will not come over to your side, I calmly say, your child belongs to us already. What are you? You will pass on. Your descendants, however, will now stay in the new camp. In a short time, they will know nothing else but this new community. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah,
it sure does sound familiar. It absolutely does. And we have Robert on our chat line saying that he thinks that the Nazis have never lost. I mean, I know a lot of our listeners thinks that the Nazis are still alive and well. They're just in different forms now in our country.
I think they're embodied by what used to be called Acorn, that is
correct
now and morphed into almost going to be the Fourth Reich.
Yes. A lot of us think that. We feel like that we're living in the Fourth Reich right now.
Right.
We absolutely do.
And so, veterans like me, we're going to have to stand up and actually take our oath and seriously and treat these as enemies domestic from here on out.
Can you tell us what armed force you were in and what did you do?
I was in the Marine Corps from 87 to 2000, 24th Marines out of Kansas City Reserve, deployed Desert Storm, Haiti, and Panama. And then I joined the Texas National Guard in 2001, deployed to Iraqi Freedom. So, yep.
Well, we thank you very much for your service. And so now you live in Georgetown, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin, correct?
Yes, I did.
And so what do you think about Austin? All of us that say live in the Midwest or a different part of the country, we've gone there in the past and thought Austin, Texas was really cool. And I haven't been there in a while, but a lot of people are telling me that it's not the same Austin, Texas, that apartments are going up all over the place. You guys are having water problems. It's dirty. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, Austin, Texas is a thing of the past. Keep Austin weird is no longer, it's keep Austin hydrated at this point. It's 106 degrees expected today. It's been 105 over 19 days. Yeah, I'm as soon as I can pick up and move, I'm going to Lake of the Ozarks, to be honest with you.
That says a lot. A lot of people want to go to Texas, but I'm hearing people getting out of Texas. And you're right. When you go to Lake of the Ozarks here in Missouri, it's freedom, baby. It's total freedom everywhere.
What other things are happening in Austin? Right. I mean, give us some examples of what you've seen change.
I moved here in 97, getting recruited down by a jewelry company after leaving Hellsberg Diamonds. The whole infrastructure has changed. When I moved down here first, they were concerned about the environment, and that's not a consideration at all anymore. Obviously, you have the border crisis, and all those people are coming right up I-35. They're landing here. South Austin has become a nice place. It went from a nice place to live to being a ghetto. They didn't used to have cars in the streets. They didn't used to have Academy Outdoor Sports have 1,500 cars in their parking lot waving Mexican flags. I mean, it's being run over. If you come down here to Austin and go to South Austin, it is becoming northern Mexico City. So
Yeah, one of my daughters had a friend and we went down to Fort Worth and Dallas. And my vision of Texas from when I was a little kid was cowboy hats and the Brave and Americana. And it was so much fun. And I thought Americans, and what I mean by that is English speaking people were in the minority, that everybody was speaking Spanish. It was filthy. It was dirty. I didn't see any cowboys. It was just such a disappointment when I went to Texas, and it was like Dallas, Texas. It was very disappointing, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, Austin isn't Austin anymore. So
yeah, well, that's very sad.
As soon as my kid graduates high school, Camden, here I come.
Good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, when you get done, can you email, if you can email that to me at vic@cancelthisshow.com, somehow, some way, what you've put together, because everybody's interested in this topic and they would love to do the deep dive themselves, because you put together a pretty damn good presentation there, my friend.
Yeah, no, thanks. I mean, here, the gist of it is this whole Antifa thing, they're not Antifa, they are fascist. They're using the banding together of communism, socialism, against anti-capitalism and anti-liberalism. So we all know that. I mean, this is nothing new. But at the same time, more people have to speak out. And that's what I'm really calling upon. That's why I contacted Lizzie. It's like, you guys just can't be the sole beacon of people speaking out. And so people need to reach down, stop talking about defunding the police. We need them. Overhaul the DOJ, FBI, IRS, call out deep state, defund the teachers who are actually promoting this stuff.
Yes. The teachers are a very big problem these days.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have to defund the police if we defunded the teachers first, and we missed that one.
Correct. We absolutely need to defund the teachers union. I agree.
So two speeches, I'm going to forward this to you again. Two speeches I want your listeners to actually hear is the Gettysburg speech by Colonel Joshua Chamberlain, and then Ronald Reagan's 1964 Time for Choosing speech. Those are, I think, the most two underrated speeches in American history.
Thanks for the reminder. I've heard them both, but it's been a while since I've heard them as well.
So they're motivating. A little chicken broth for American soul. I mean, if you can get your kids out of your school they're in, if it's poor, and use vouchers, change your kids' school. Get a school that teaches cursive writing so your kids can read the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Federalist Papers.
Well, that's another good point. Gosh, I totally forgot about that with the whole cursive writing.
They won't be able to
read it. You won't understand. My gosh, that makes so much sense, John.
Yes, I think it's purposeful that they're doing that for sure.
It absolutely is. I mean, if Rosie O'Donnell can pick up on that, hello.
Yes. Yeah, she even picked up on that, and she is really far left, and she's picked up on
What did Rosie O'Donnell say?
She said, I don't remember her exact quote, maybe you do, John, but she was making the point that teaching kids to just do, handwritten and not doing cursive, there was things that our ancestors had that they couldn't read anymore. Wasn't that the synopsis of what she said?
Like the Constitution?
The Constitution, yes. And I don't even think she likes the Constitution.
Well, I mean, being said, she blatantly said, my generation is the last one that can read the Constitution.
Yes. There's a lot of truth to that unless we get our kids help. I think, John, as far as education, a lot of people want the vouchers, and that's great and all, but I think people and a lot of parents aren't willing to do the sacrifice. You might have to eat macaroni and cheese every night, but get your kid in a school that is not indoctrinating your kids. We've put 5 kids. We are not wealthy, and we've made a lot of sacrifices to get them in a school that teaches the Constitution and freedom and the Bill of Rights and all of that. It's just imperative to do that. If not, we are in big, big trouble.
Exactly. And so I'm going to skip a few points. I mean, down here to notice no one is calling anyone misogynistic anymore is because men and women's sports are the highest form of misogyny, and they can't be sport any longer. So
100%.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So through comparisons, I'll share with you guys. You guys can post it. These are all accusations and labels proposed to you by reductionists, and reductionism sucks.
Okay, so explain reductionism. What is reductionism?
It's when somebody with a feeling of superiority, like the Nazis had,
correct,
or the liberals had, they call you a bigot, they call you a racist, they call you a misogynist, they call you a xenophobe, and the whole phobia thing is to imply that something's wrong with you mentally, right? is the first part of it. And nothing's wrong with you. You're not afraid of people. You're not afraid of other countries. You're not afraid of all this crap. It's just a bunch of crud thrown out by people with an IQ of like 81. If you actually propose to them that, you're reductionist, and that's the same tactic that the Nazis used in 1930s Germany to reduce and dehumanize the Jewish population and then execute them. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
It's modern day
exactly.
cancel culture
It
is
is.
what it is. It's the exact same thing in my humble opinion.
It's not cancel culture, it's cancel you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is part of it.
Yep. They want
all-
to cancel us for sure.
Right.
Yes.
And so, you know what? I call on all fellow veterans to stand up and start fighting back. This is part of our oath where we would fight enemies, foreign and domestic. And you guys just can't be the sole voice anymore. We all have to stand up and just so the silent majority won't be silent any longer.
Correct. We need to stop being silent.
Robert says can't fix a spiritual problem with a political solution. From his standpoint, Terry says amen. And then, of course, Jay adds all of the technology uses print. So there is no reason for anybody to write anything anymore, especially in cursive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would argue that if you want the true meaning of something, you actually read the actual document. And so I mean, right now, China is reprinting the Bible. Do you really want to read that? Do you want to take that verbatim? The Chinese Bible? Seriously? No.
They're
Right.
actually
You need to read the original document yourself.
Yeah.
What were we going to say, Joe?
no. I just saw a piece on this a couple of days ago that the Chinese government is rewording some of they're taking parts of the Bible out,
Yes, yes.
rewording it
They
to
are.
fit their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. When we were in
That
China,
won't be the
they were
first time
doing
it's
that.
happened to the Bible either, though.
Right.
Right.
True. But I mean, what we have is what we have, and we have to present what we have.
Very true. Very true.
Hey, John, any thing that you want to leave us with today before we let you go? Everybody pretty much agrees. They love what you're saying, love what you're teaching about and trying to remind us and connecting the dots.
Yeah, just get all these people out of office. All of them. Support any effort they can to impeach these people down to Kamala. I mean, Joe Biden leaving is going to leave with Kamala, and it has to be a ticket impeachment. It can't be just one person, I don't really want McCarthy as president, but on the other hand, the alternative really sucks. So,
Right. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Oh, yes, exactly.
at the same time, there's no win-win here. All we can do is survive and just vote to survive at this point. If you actually look what happened to the Germans, they have 50 years to recover. We're in the 44th year of that same cycle. We have 6 years we actually could recover. If not, Belize is looking pretty good.
Belize or Lake of the Ozarks, one or the other.
One of the two.
Yes, one of the two.
It is scary when you think
It
about
is.
where we've come from, where we are right now, what could happen. We talk about this stuff all the time. I mean, yeah, you do your best to stand up as best as you possibly can. As you say, vote. You vote in people that you do the best for. But I mean, we don't get to make all the rules. We have to live in certain situations sometimes. It's also interesting. What were you going to say, John?
We have to live as we vote.
Yeah.
The pendulum goes both ways, but
Mhm.
it has to come back to center. It really does.
Correct. Not the real far extreme right and the real far extreme left. They are the problems. And people, even in the conservative culture, they don't get that the very far extremist right, they're as bad as the extremist left. We do have to get somewhere back in the middle. We need to stop the division. Nobody gets along anymore. And we know this. We've already gone over this. It's purposeful. But we've got to start talking across the aisle and not be so extreme and be America first, which I know that that's extreme to the left, but that's really as simple as it is we've just got to be Americans and stop all this division.
Well, I mean,
lead one color.
I won't go as far left as Liz Cheney has gone, but at the same time, you have two choices. You can either come back to the center or you can choose to shoot the other person.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
No, it really puts things in perspective.
Sure does.
John Holtke, we appreciate your time today, man. Thank you so much for putting the work together, doing all the homework. Send that to me. We'll post it. We'll get it up. thank you for supporting our show, continuing to tell people. If you have ideas for other topics, shows, information, let us know. We'd love to have you back on. And we're just grateful for the time, bud.
No, I appreciate it. I'm grateful. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, John. Be talking to you. Have a great day.
You
All
too.
right.
Thanks.
John
Bye-bye.
Holtke joining us this morning from Austin, Texas, former St. Louis native, breaking down everything that's.
Yes, that was so impressive.
That's like that could be a semester class.
Yes, that
Should
was
be
so
a
good.
semester class.
That's
I
how
really
our.
hope he puts that all together on a YouTube.
I hope so too. That is wow. He's I knew he was impressive when he reached out, but I had no idea he was doing that much work for this interview. I'm very impressed by him. But that's our listeners, Vic and Joe. Our listeners are extremely smart. I mean, when they reach out, they know what they're talking about, and I'm grateful that they listen to our show because they know that we're telling them the truth as we know it. And if something changes, we tell them. But that's our listeners. That's our listeners.
Yeah,
are
we're certainly
fantastic.
trying. That's for
You're
sure.
Smart.
It is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house as well. And it is interesting when you talk about all these things, the connections, deep state, things happening behind the scene. All you have to do is look at all the situation that happened with this Hunter Biden as people talk about a sweet deal, a plea deal, everything that can happen with the situation. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God a judge. And I've seen two different sides to this.
Mm-hmm, me too.
There's attorneys that we have. What's that? But you can just talk to me. What do you get?
I'm sorry. Is he at 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we still got time. We got lots of time. When it comes to the situation regarding Hunter Biden, yesterday a judge refused to accept his plea deal when she started to say that the deal that had been put into place seemed like it was too much of a broad standing situation where he wouldn't be charged for anything in the future. So she flat out asked the prosecutors, is there a chance or is there a case or information coming down the pipeline that we may be able to do something later? Or are you trying to charge in the future? And they said yes. So she didn't accept the plea deal. And then all the attorneys lost their mind for Hunter in court yesterday.
Yeah,
they thought that everything was going to fall into place, that he would be fine, that everybody would be happy and move forward. But that's not the case right now. Hunter Biden has a new court date coming up August 25th. He could plead guilty again.
Right. He could.
Or he could plead innocent, but they've got to come back up with some sort of plea deal now in regards to making this happen. Now, at first, I was like, damn, I think this all worked out for them because there won't be a trial before an election.
Correct.
If, now he comes back and then it just gets pushed down the line again. And then Congress wouldn't be able to go investigate him because it was an active case.
Right.
Okay. And then I saw an attorney post that. Mike Yoder, who we had a constitutional attorney on, was posting that. And I saw that and I was like, yes, that's what I thought. I tried to get Mike on this morning. He had a tea time, so he was golfing this morning.
Yeah, golfing is more important.
If you don't follow Mike, check out Mike. He's literally
great.
one of the best constitutional attorneys in America. But then I saw other attorneys saying, no, that's not true, including our own Brad Young, who said Congress could still investigate him. So I don't know if people know exactly what to do or not. It's a big mess. It's a dirty ball of political crap.
Yeah, it is.
That continues to roll around. Everybody just keeps kicking it around. But at the end of the day, yes, Hunter has his issues. But once again, with all the evidence, he is connected to his dad. We already know his dad lied.
Right. Yep.
Joe Biden said, I've never talked to my son about business dealings. Now we have evidence that it has happened.
Yes.
So then while this is all going on yesterday, after the impersonation of Hunter's lawyers trying to act like they were opposing counsel, then you have the White House now coming out stating, well, we're hoping Hunter can rebuild his life and we love him and we're here for him. But this is his own personal situation.
Right. But
not Joe's. And we have never had any business dealings with Hunter. Joe has never. Now it's switched from, and it's like that lie. Once you lie, then you have to cover the lie to cover the lie to cover the lie. The story changes. He's no longer saying that he hasn't talked to his son about business dealings, which he initially said. Now he's saying, well, I've never had business dealings with my son.
Right. But he talked to him about it. It's crazy. I think that, like what you were saying, they're just kicking the can down. And what my fear is, I was like you, Vic. I watched it and I was hopeful and then not hopeful and then hopeful and then not hopeful. And the thing that I find very disturbing is, okay, so they moved it off for a month. But is it going to be now they're not going to publicize it and it's going to be quiet and they're just going to let him off?
No, he's going to have to plead guilty to something. Now he and his team they're back going, crap. How are we going to put together? They thought they had a perfect plea deal that would keep him from being charged with anything in the future. But as we see, thank God for the House Oversight Committee bringing evidence up, checking everything out to see, oh, maybe we can do this. Maybe we can make something work. Now we're bringing more evidence forward. So she didn't allow it. It was so broad. They thought that they were being able to sneak it in. They couldn't. And now you have an issue because he's got to do something.
Right.
Something's going to happen. And then now it just gives him more time for evidence. And then Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker, right now at the same point in time, maybe not necessarily trying to invoke an impeachment, but an impeachment inquiry allows him to get more evidence. And this is how you do things, politics. We all say, kick him out. We've had enough. Drain the swamp. Yeah, it sounds great. But there's a process to everything, which sucks.
Yes, I hate that.
With so many things in life, and we start to see these things going on. Now we have a problem. Now we're trying to deal with the situation with Hunter Biden. This judge would not. Mike Yoder's like, no, they all know this is exactly what the Bidens wanted. So many other attorneys are going, no, this judge stopped them from getting away with stuff. So Hunter stays in the news. This is not good for Joe Biden, whatever the case. It's not.
No, it isn't.
It continues. Now he's being pushed to a limit where he's, oh, no, I haven't had any business dealings with my son. Then, of course, those of us who feel like we're somewhat enlightened are like, yeah, this is bad, but is this what Biden wants? Do they want this to continue to move forward? I don't know. But at the end of the day, here we go again. Hunter Biden with all of these situations. I'm curious and if you see comments, Lizzie, I can't see comments right now.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of people that are on the chat that they're kind of like we are. They think that he's going to get by with this, that a month from now, it's just going to go away and he's going to get by with it. Then some people are like the other attorneys that maybe this is the one time we can get him nailed. But anything, it's like, no matter what it is, we don't really have any control over that.
He's going to get hammered. I'm telling you.
I hope he gets hammered.
And I don't mean with alcohol or drugs.
Right. Well, yeah, he gets hammered every day. Yeah, he's getting hammered up his nose. Hunter. He puts the hammer.
Well, no, this judge is serious. I mean, first of all, until he comes back, he has to submit to drug testing. No alcohol, no drugs, no firearms. Stay away, Hunter. We've had enough. You must stay away from these situations.
Right. Well, and Jeff says they don't need more evidence. They just need to acknowledge what evidence they already have.
I mean, it's been a disaster. And then, of course, you see everything that happens. Yesterday was something that I felt as if naysayers of Hunter Biden or those with the justice system were happy.
I think so,
that
too.
he didn't get away with this, at least for now. And now it has all kinds of media attention. That's why I just don't think it goes away. I don't. I mean, he was ready to enter a guilty plea. And then at the last second, oh, yeah, we're not going to do that right now.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't mean that. We got caught. This is what's going to happen. But I did find Mike's opinion that the Bidens like this very interesting because I have so much respect for Mike Yoder as a constitutional attorney.
Yes.
Who came into this studio and blew us all away.
Sure did.
Who is all over the country doing podcasts. And I mean, Andy Frisella's podcast, he went over there and blew that up, which was just amazing, where he thinks that they're not going to be able to get as much information. But then Brad Young and other attorneys think that Congress could still investigate. At the end of the day, come on, most Americans who question Biden or question the family, the crime syndicate, know that things are not fair. Things are not being done right.
Fair.
Information is being withheld, the DOJ being weaponized. And it doesn't matter if you like Trump or don't like Trump. The bottom line is it is being weaponized to go after Trump.
It is.
Who is the number one opponent of him. The FBI's involvement at the highest levels in cover-ups, which we have talked about and seen and shown the evidence, not our opinions, but showing the evidence. all of this stuff came to a head, and this judge was pissed. She was. I mean, she was pissed. She came back. She's now forcing them to go back. They're going to have to regroup. I don't see it ending well for Hunter Biden. I don't. And he was already getting what was considered to be a very, very, very sweetheart deal with guns and drugs. And we haven't begun to get into the whole fact of his situation with his dad and the evidence that's come out on WhatsApp. I'm sitting next to the, I mean, they've got timestamps of where he was when he sent it. I mean, the evidence appears to be overwhelming.
Yes.
When you go into a court of law, can anything actually happen? They're trying to connect Joe Biden to Hunter Biden. Democrats will tell you, we don't care, whatever. We've heard so much about Hunter, whatever. He's a cokehead. He's a druggie. You know, we all know somebody who's a cokehead.
Right.
We know somebody who's an alcoholic, a partier. And if it was only that much,
Right.
but it's not when it's your dad and he was the vice president. And now there appears to be 30, I repeat, 30 of these accounts that were used to funnel money in and out. And you've got the coke addict, the druggie, racing all over the world, collecting checks and money, threatening other leaders in his dad's name, who's the vice president. And there's no way in hell Obama didn't know this was going on.
Oh, Obama knew all about this. He absolutely did. He was part of it. And like you said, it's not fair. I mean, I hope that something comes from all of this. And like Michelle said, if nothing else comes from it, God is slowly exposing all the evil, because this is, in my opinion, a spiritual battle, a spiritual war. And you know that it's good versus evil. You know, I don't know if you heard of on the same day yesterday when this is going on, we've talked often about J6. Well, there was an 18-year-old that had simply sat in Mike Pence's chair. And because he sat in the chair, he was sentenced to a year in prison for sitting in Pence's chair. While you've got Mr. Cokehead snorting stuff up there. And the bigger issue is not even all the business dealings, it's the implication of the business dealings. He is a national threat to our country. He knows where the bodies are buried. He knows who did what. And he is a train wreck that I think Obama knew it was going on. But now I believe that Obama even wishes that he could put him 9 feet under, but they can't kill him.
Well, this isn't a political thing. I'm sorry, it's not. This is a right and wrong thing.
Yes,
now.
it is. Yes,
this
it is
a legal thing
it is.
that is going on, as this judge has said, as this judge has broke everything out with. And now you're starting to see what's happening because it got all of the national attention that it did, because this judge had the guts to call it out. That's where I'm like, man, if they're getting one over on us, good job to the Bidens yet again.
Right.
Because it's very difficult to see how this judge would go through the lengths that she did, say what she said, and then make them all come back out.
Correct.
One of our viewers said there's no way Hunter's going to take the fall for daddy. I don't know. I don't know. We're all trying to figure it out right now. However, Michelle says, yeah, she's ready for the Lord to intervene on everything that's going on.
Oh my gosh. Me too,
Jay
Michelle.
says he will have to have an accident first.
Right.
Oh, that's a scary thing.
That is a scary thing.
The House Oversight Committee also looking for one of his friends again, who they can't find, allegedly. There's so much. Once again, there has not been corruption that we've even sniffed like this in the White House.
It's awful.
Since what we had. I know you say things about Obama, and he kept everything tidied up, but what we see right now is insane. We had no idea any of this would happen yesterday. It did, and here we are once again. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, the whole family in the news. But don't forget, as I always say, look at the scorecard. Biden is now disassociating himself from Hunter Biden.
Yes, he is.
I never had business dealings with him, as he has switched from previously saying, I've never talked with my son about business. Now it's starting to unravel. How far does it go? I've already made myself clear on the show, whether I sound stupid or not. I didn't think there was any way in hell the DNC could run Joe Biden. And I don't care if you're one of those people that say, well, they got the election fixed anyway.
Right.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Now it would be worse if you tried to run that man and tried to fix an election.
Correct.
Come on. We already know he cannot win an election in America. And don't give me your bogus NBC, MSNBC, CBS, CNN polling. It's bull crap. It is not true. There is no way in hell Joe Biden can beat any Democrat especially with all the crap that's going on.
Correct.
And it's not going to stop because the House Oversight Committee is not going to allow it to stop because you actually have some balance in Congress. Maybe it's a little, but at the end of the day, we still continue to hear these stories. We continue to see them. And Kamala, oh my God.
Oh my gosh, Kamala.
The border continues to be a massive issue. Inflation is there. Once again, are you really better now than you were when Donald Trump left office?
No.
Regardless of your feelings for Donald Trump and how everything else is going. It just, as I've said, there's been too much that the Democrats could control. There's too much that the DNC could control when it comes to information that's being let out. Yes, the House Oversight Committee has some powers to search and educate, as they're trying to do right now, which is why I'm grateful there's a check and balance in Congress right now of some sort. But as we know how politics works, I still feel as if some of these things are being let out.
For sure, on purpose. It's all a game. It's all theater that they're playing. And Hunter messed it up. So now they're having to shift their theater to hide all this. But it's crazy. I do still think they have one up over us, but I am thrilled.
Yeah, so keep in mind, let's see what happens. August 25th is the next court date.
Yes, we need to really watch that.
For Hunter Biden. So once again, you have two things going on. One, Hunter's own personal issues.
Yes.
What he was in court for yesterday had nothing to do with his dad.
Right.
But you've got that in one silo. The other silo, though, that's kind of connected is his dealings with dad and why everybody should care and why when you start to go down the deep hole, you start to see more and more connections to all kinds of crime syndicate action that has been taking place going back to when Joe Biden was vice president. Yes, that's a massive issue. Yes, that's illegal. Yes, there is no way in hell the man should be in office or running for office. And it has nothing to do with us talking about Democrat versus Republican policy.
Right.
It's right and wrong in regards to what's been happening. And it blows my freaking mind, all of these things that have been happening. All that's been going on. This is cancelthisshow.com. We are grateful for all the partners and the sponsors that we have. We have the Blessed Warrior, Bart Wayne, coming up in just a few minutes. By the way, Bart can come in and get set up if he wants to.
I think he's in the restroom.
When he comes in, you can set him in.
All right.
But we're grateful for the partners that we have on this show. We've got Complete Auto Body Repair, Complete AB in the St. Louis metropolitan area, 7 locations. You've got heated, you've got cool, they're climate controlled places, everything with your car from A to Z. Literally, so many of our viewers, our listeners, when they're in the St. Louis metropolitan area, take their cars to Complete Auto Body Repair. You can trust them. Great work is done there all the time. Also, we've got Greenlight dispensaries. We do our Weed Wednesday segments. Download that coupon that we show you at cancelthisshow.com. You can take it in, find a location that works best for you. Go in, talk to them, promote it. They're running out of products all the time. They've got them, but they're selling. When you're the biggest, you can provide the best products that are out there at the best prices for Greenlight. Of course, Kathy Hobig Strict and Steve Strict with real estate. You've got the Experienced Real Estate Partners. Also, their New Age Health Wellness. So you got newagehealthwellness.com. They've also got all the health wellness places. That's in Ladue. They've also got one coming to Lake St. Louis as well. Dr. Mahesh Bagwe, one of our orthopedic sponsors, our orthopedic surgeon. I've taken my kids to him. You're not going to find a better orthopedic surgeon throughout the St. Louis area. Carroll House Furniture has been with us from the start. We're grateful for Carroll House Furniture. Just go over there, check out everything they have. They did our studio for us. We're grateful for that as well. When you look and you see the partners, the sponsors, if you know of anybody, let them know about us. Check in, jump in. Rockwood Charcoal. We've got Rockwood Charcoal, the best charcoal. They're a national brand as well that have jumped in. We're grateful. And of course, you can go to cancelthisshow.com and go to Renewal by Anderson. You can get a quote on your windows. You can check out that for free. They'll come give you a free quote. They'll take care of anything for that. Not only does it improve your energy bills, but it would also help your home value as well. So this is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. We'll get into more. We got more Hunter Biden to come up a little bit later. What the hell's going on with Mitch McConnell? Should he step aside after what we saw yesterday? And it's been interesting in the last 2 years, how many people we've seen in Congress just kind of lose it talking. They don't look like they should be there. It makes you want, what's going on? Is it the cupcake? Is it something else? Is it just because there's more cameras around? I don't know. We'll get into all that. We've got the UFO situation to talk about as well. Some fascinating stuff that went down yesterday in DC when they were talking about the possible cover-up of UFOs. What does the government know? I can't believe, literally, you're in the government's backyard and you're talking about the government covering up UFOs. You're talking about a situation where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm a whistleblower. I was there. I saw everything that happened. And yeah, okay, now what we've got is this. We're hiding UFOs. They're everywhere. We have biologics of aliens.
Yes.
So we'll get into that as well. We're also jumping in right now with a friend of the show, Blessed Warrior, Bart Wayne. He'll be sitting down in a second. BlessedWarriors.com is his website. He's got a concert coming up at, he's going to be doing a concert of sort at Busch Stadium. And you can sit down whenever you're ready or stand whenever you get your stuff. But he has a backstory as well. But August 15th, there's a concert at Busch Stadium that he's going to be a part of. So he'll be coming in just a second to talk about that. Also, we do. And hey, Brojo, I appreciate you. Yeah, never mind. I can look at it on my website. We're good to go on the phone. So we've all been through things in our life. And we'll hear that from Bart when he comes. Did he take off already?
No,
we scared him.
Did he get nervous and go throw up?
He's got a whole thing out here.
Yeah.
He's got
look
stuff.
at that.
Dude,
Oh,
how long is it
my.
going to take you to get set up, man? I'm trying to
He's
mess
got
with you.
some stuff.
Okay, do you have another? Hey, how long? And you're cool. We just kind of go with the flow around here.
Yeah,
how long until you think you're set up?
5 minutes.
You need 5 more minutes?
Or we can do less. I mean, let me just get the camera set.
Okay, no, go get your camera set up and we'll go from there. In the meantime, why don't we, hey, Projo, when I was talking about the craziness that's happened with the Biden administration,
Yeah.
can we show Kamala? I was trying to do her laugh yesterday when you popped that up. I was like,
I think you snuck in a laugh today.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, yeah, it was yesterday and today. I tried to sneak one in yesterday. Today I was pretty out there. Not only do you have all the craziness that's happening with Biden or just whatever illegal activities going on, your vice president is out giving comments and quotes like this.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
What?
Everything is in context.
He's impeached.
My mother she would
that's
give us
scary.
a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
What?
What in the world? Have you noticed? I don't understand a word she says hardly ever. She just, does her hands like this, and I'm a hand person too, and she just talks like this, and she just goes on. And when you get done, you're like, what the hell did she just
I think
say?
the more you listen to her, the more your IQ drops.
Yes, good
We
point.
are all now dumber for what we just heard.
So true, Joe. Oh my gosh, it's insanity.
Ladies and gentlemen, your vice president. I'm sorry. It just, and there's a million of those things that are all over the place running around. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. We appreciate everybody jumping in and joining us now. Are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Yes.
Are you ready? You can stand. You can put that to the side. It's all what you want to do, buddy.
All right, I'm ready.
The best part is that your graphic looks amazing.
I love it. I
does.
love
It
your
looks
shirt
awesome.
and your graphic, all of it. Blessed Warrior. I love that.
Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Bart Wayne, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. We appreciate you taking some time, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
So what's going on? First of all, you have a crazy, amazing story. All of a sudden, you're a musician, you're a singer, and you never were before. How did all this happen?
Yeah, it's quite a cool story. Just a couple years ago, do I start at the beginning or do I start with the singing part?
How about, you know what? Let's just go back to the beginning here real quick.
I'll fly through it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
Go through it. But first of all, we'll let people know you're going to be at Busch Stadium August 15th performing, right?
Yeah, and it's also my birthday. So
How about
what
that?
a great day.
Yeah, I guess that was ordained, huh?
Yeah. It's Blessed Warrior Music is my brand. Blessed Warrior is a brand for overcomers. We've all overcome something in our lives. And I'll get to my story there in a second. But basically August 15th, Tuesday. It's the Oakland A's take on the Cardinals at Busch Stadium. It's a Boots for Busch. 93.7 The Bull's going to be there. And I think there's 2 other acts. And they're going to also, I think, be judging for the best songwriting and song.
Oh, so
That's
3
awesome.
is this before the game starts?
Yeah, it starts at 5. You go to gate 1 at 4:45. I'm probably going to go first because I don't have a following yet. I just started singing about 7 months ago. I was doing karaoke a few years ago.
Wait a minute. That's insane. You just started
say 7 months?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Okay. So the story is crazy because I was hanging out with this country star named Craig Morgan, and went to his concert, and I just knew some people, and we were hanging out with him on his bus. I have it on my page, and I was talking to him, telling him about my story and what Blessed Warrior is all about, and how I like to now use my gifts and talents to give hope to people who are where I once was. I said, I've never sang before, but I feel God's changing my voice, and he's going to put me on platforms to reach people. And Craig said, Bart, every waiter and waitress in America comes to Nashville to become a singer. What makes you think? I looked him right in the eye and said, it's a God thing. It's going to happen. And then just not even 2 months later, somebody introduced me to Zeus Rebel Waters. He used to go by Rockapuff. He's the king of underground in St. Louis. And long story short, he wanted me to do a show with him. And I was like, what? And so I just started writing songs like real fast. I just did it. Never done it before. And I've got 7 original songs. Done only about 5 shows, but less than 6 months after I told Craig that God was going to put me on platforms, the St. Louis Cardinals reached out and they invited me to do my own 20-minute set at the Boots of Busch concert. So,
and this is all original music?
Yeah, I got all original music.
Well, okay, you got to this point somehow, some way. Where did all of this come from? Because you said you have a past. We've all overcome something. So what was in your past that got you to this point?
Well, I went to a little small Christian high school, Christian college, and I never drank, I was just a little country boy, went fishing every day and played basketball. Got a scholarship to college for art, discovered alcohol and partying in college, and basically lost focus of everything, of school and all that stuff, and just started partying. And I basically got kicked out for grades because I didn't care about history, rhetorical writing, and algebra. I just wanted to do my art classes. So anyway, I ended up getting kicked out for grades and then became a dancer, like the Magic Mike thing. So I was like, I might as well get paid to party because I used to go to
paid to party.
I'm sorry,
party.
I know this is a serious story, but that line was funny.
Yeah, I used to do battle dances back in college. I'd wear the hammer pants with the little polka dots.
How come you didn't give us any of that video?
I have some on my page. Like I have drywall dance videos.
Oh, I've seen your drywall dance.
Right.
Okay,
so that's it's a way to dance still.
Yeah.
Doing drywall. But no. So anyway, after basically I didn't do any art or anything. I just was, I did my drywall, but I just started partying and getting paid to party. And that was the lifestyle I led for 20 years. And I was a mess after that. I was drinking mouthwash to get drunk. I had cirrhosis. I was dying. And I got arrested for too many DWIs. Luckily, didn't hurt or crash or hurt anybody. And I had a spiritual awakening in my cell. Basically 20 years of that party life, I was full of demons, basically. It's like addiction and craving is those demons you let in. And that's why you can't let that go, because you can't fight it, because it sits in you dormant and it gets you to want to drink. It gets you the cravings, all that. So the spiritual awakening, I cried out to God. I was like, God, help me. I need a miracle. The miracle was he kept me in there. I went to 7 prisons in 2.5 years. I had a 5-year sentence, but did half of that. Had no lawyer, had no public defender show up. So I sat in county for 9 months. It was all meant to be, though, because I read the Bible. I started listening to sermons to sleep, and I would just draw. All I did was draw. So I looked at prison as art camp. So it wasn't. So in my mind, I wasn't there. I was like undercover, seeing what it's like living behind the walls. Kind of like an investigative reporter.
Yeah.
And then I started drawing, and then I just sent everything home. I would draw for the prisoners. I would draw their families. And then I wanted proof that I could draw. So I sent everything home to be printed. My mom would print out 4x6 glossies, all these different size pictures. And then I would give that to the prisoner. And I would put one 4x6 in my portfolio. 300 of those later, There's an amazing story. It's called Scribble Through the Struggle. And it takes you through a trip through prison, through the pictures, through the drawings I did.
And you weren't singing at all during any of this.
No, but you know what? A lot of stuff is prophetic. I used to be pathetic, but now I'm prophetic. I would sing when I first.
I'm trying to get to your point.
When I first was in my cell, I was singing this song called "One More Second Chance," and it was just a song I didn't know the words to, but I was like, "I just want one second chance," and it would echo in that cell, and I was like, "Man, that sounds good." So I started just singing stuff, but I didn't know how to put it to music, and in my mind, I was like, "Oh, that would be a hit. That would be a hit." But I didn't know how to write anything down with that. Didn't think nothing of it. Go through college, did 300 drawings, get out, Beauty from Ashes, start public speaking, telling my story, giving people hope. Then COVID happened, and that kind of shut everything down. Then I just started running around doing karaoke. I just felt led. I just want to go sing karaoke.
Wait a minute, you just show up at a bar and go, I'm going to do karaoke tonight?
Yeah, and I'd sit by myself at the table. I was just kind of the outsider, and I'd just sit there and I'd watch people. I'd clap, and then I'd get up there. I'd set up my little tripod. And then I'd record me. People are like, who's this guy? Was like with the recording himself? Well, I just recorded everything, and then I could see what I should sing, what I would be better at, what I should stay away from. And basically, my voice just started. I noticed people would look at me like when I would sing, they'd turn around and like in silence. And I'm like, there's something going on here. So I said, I think God's changing my voice. And so that's why I told Craig, God's changing my voice to reach people.
Now, do people think you're crazy though?
Who knows?
Yeah.
But probably, I would say people who don't have spiritual understanding, of course. Yeah. And all I know is I know things that people don't know. And I'm here to show the people that need it what they need to know so that they don't fall down that path and that they have hope.
So when you started singing Bart Wayne, we're talking with Bart Wayne, the Blessed Warrior. You go through prison, you come out, you do these talks, you start doing karaoke. The St. Louis Cardinals just don't call you for no reason and say, hey, come do a concert at Busch. Did you get found, so to speak, doing karaoke?
No, it was like Zeus Rebel Waters.
Okay.
And he travels all around the nation. He used to be Rockin' Puff. He's had hits back when Nelly and Chingy and all that stuff. He's got amazing music, so you should check him out sometime.
Yeah, but how did you run into him?
Somebody was doing a networking event, a Facebook friend who I didn't know either, and she said, hey, you should meet this Bart guy. And because she saw my karaoke videos, right? So that's all I said. I said, I think somebody's going to notice my voice, something special. I'm not a singer. I'm not trying to be a singer. It's all about trying to reach people. So that's a platform. And now I have this brand called Blessed Warrior, and it's a brand for overcomers. That's a whole nother thing of how that turned into what it is. But it's basically I connect with people now with foundations. I was like in Cardinal Glennon Hospital interviewing a 16-year-old rapper named Verified. It's his second bout with leukemia. I go in there with the Blessed Warrior, and I tell my story. I give them hope. Through basically, I want to hear your gifts and talents, because that's what I did. I started expressing. I'm not ashamed that I went to prison. I'm not ashamed that I was.
Do you think it's good for people to go to prison?
Because
you see what's happening in society a lot with a lot of politicians are like, hey, no, we don't want kids there. We don't want cashless bond.
They say, and I got people close in my camp basically too, that like, oh, prison's not the right direction. But you know what? They do, they have a treatment that you have to go through. And if you can't afford the treatment out in the streets, well, if you're in prison, you can't get out until you complete this treatment. So there's a free treatment for you right there.
So in that sense, it is good.
Yeah. And if rock bottom's a blessing. If I didn't go to prison, if I would have got out when I wanted to, that's what I said. I prayed for a miracle. God, get me out of here. The miracle was he kept me in there. And if I would have got out when I wanted to, I would not be delivered. I'm 10 years sober and delivered. Never had a craving. I've been through so much. I've been through national TV. Women tried to steal my name and just all kind of crazy stuff has gone on. But it's proof that God's delivered me. And I've been through struggles and I've been through this. And it just shows the strength. I'm an overcomer. And everybody else out there has overcome something in their lives. And that's what Blessed Warrior is about, is everybody else, those blessed warriors. We can all like have this movement.
Yes.
And feel proud that you're going to overcome, and you've overcome everything up to this point in your life. So don't forget that.
Yes. It is such an inspiring message. Now that when you see people who knew you maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago and they see you now? Have you had some of those conversations with those people?
Yeah, and a lot of they don't believe. They didn't believe it at first. Oh, he's not changed, or because I was a mess. Like I said, I went from a mess to blessed. I drank mouthwash.
You got all the lines, man.
Man, I've said this a million times. It just it's meant to be to say. But no, people at first they didn't know if this was real. Because a lot of people. They say they've changed or they this, but God changed me. I couldn't change myself.
Yeah, well, a prophet's not even known in his own backyard. That was one that I've always thought that was an interesting quote, biblically speaking, because a lot of times when people see you, they won't believe you, especially if they've had another experience. And, I know that your calling and your idea is much higher than not worrying about what people think about you. So
right. And that's what a lot of people out there need to do is like, don't be a people pleaser. Do what you know is right. And just kind of stick to your morals and stuff, and don't just go with the crowd, because being individual and unique is those are the game changers in life.
Correct.
And you can go from God uses the broken and can turn you into the ones that actually make the biggest difference in this world.
Well, we want to play a little bit of a song that you gave to us. What is this song? Because this is all original. You're going to be playing 20 minutes worth of original content, songs that you wrote as well.
20.
So is it songs that you wrote?
Yeah, I just sat down. I freestyled some stuff. I got producers, engineers. I want to give a shout out to Chris Tate because starting out, I don't have a bunch of money yet for producers and all this stuff, but he sees the bigger picture. So I kind of got my start and learned the game of how to be in a studio and all this. And now I bumped up to a bigger studio with Joshua B. And he worked on this one. But I did all the I'm the songwriter. I did the writing, all this. I have a producer.
And all
engineer.
of this in under 7 months?
Yeah, I have 7 originals. This is called Make You Believe. And all my music is about overcoming. It's about if you, like the girl left you and you're like, man, I didn't know I wasn't good enough, but it wasn't that. It was God didn't want you with her. And now you're free to be with the one that you're supposed to be with. So all the songs have a testimony of sorts from myself or make you feel good and show you what's going on. Yeah, it's just basically positive, inspirational music.
Well, let's hear a little bit of one of the songs that you were
Make
just
You
talking
Believe.
About.
When I first saw you, I said to myself, she looks too good to be true. But I didn't let that stop me from walking up to you. I said hello, and I told you my name. You looked up at me, smiled, and did the same. My heart skipped a beat for a second or two. And baby girl, that's when I knew I'm gonna make you feel like you never felt before. Gonna make you feel like you never felt before. Gonna make you believe, show you things you've never seen. When I look in your eyes, girl, I can see the depth of your heart and your love for me. I'll hold you in my arms, so gentle yet strong. I'll make you feel safe.
I'm sorry.
That was the best part. 1,000 years long. It goes 1,000 years, 1,000
I'm sorry,
years,
my fault.
1,000 years, 1,000 years, 1,000
Can you
years,
pick it back?
1,000
Can you
years.
pick it back?
1,000 years long. 1,000 years long. Yes, I will. 1,000 years, 1,000 years, 1,000 years, 1,000 years long. Yes, I will. Hey, make you feel.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, nice job.
Thank you.
So God gave you that really deep, throaty,
Yeah.
southern,
I just
yummy.
got this kind of thing going. And I call myself, and me as a person, if I could describe me, I have a gentle strength. I'm very calm. You can't you can't pull me into your evil. Basically, you don't fight evil with evil. If somebody's in your face and all this, you can't rile me up like that, because you're gonna. That's when I went through prison. That would be my face, and he'd be like, "Come on, man." They want you to lash out and be like them, and they pull you away from your path. So I knew I got to draw. You're not pulling me away from what I'm trying to do. And so, like I said, after 300 drawings, that's because I didn't fall for that. And I would look people in the eye real calm. You gotta look calm.
That's
and
great.
You go, calm down, man. Do the right thing. And everybody backed away from me.
Yeah.
And I think it's I was spiritually, divinely protected in there. And so when it comes to my personality and everything, I think there's no toxic in my life with any kind of relationships, anything like that. I will prune you, which is like not everybody's privileged enough to be close. Yeah, not everybody's privileged enough to be close to your spirit. Okay,
that's true.
And also, if you have weeds on you, like so let's say you're a flower, right? You have women that are like they just can't. They got somebody in their life that's attached to them, and they keep them because they've known them for years.
Right, and they don't get rid of them.
Well, it's a weed. You got to cut those weeds, and then you could grow and flourish. But if you got weeds attached to you, you can't, and so you don't go anywhere. And so I've been real good at that, and I just keep a small camp of people, that I keep close to me. And other than that, I'm just going forward, man, and God's opening all these doors for me.
That's a great analogy. And a lot of people, out of loyalty, we will keep people around us because they've just been around us for a long time. And I had a friend that I had for 44 years, and my kids said, your time is over being friends with them. There's no purpose for you to them, and them to you. You are a completely different life. And boy, did my life go to a completely different direction when I got rid of the weeds. And they weren't a bad person. It just wasn't my direction.
Well, if God has a door open for you in front of you, right? And this goes for everybody out there. There's a door waiting for you. But you've got somebody that can't go through that door with you. God's like, you're not going through that door if you got that person with you, because they're not going to share those blessings with you.
Correct. You have to have people around you that shares blessings, and they're not.
But it's so difficult as humans, that.
It's not for me.
I know. Well, not for you.
I've been through so much stuff.
Yes, like, because you're the superstar, the blessed warrior. I'm talking about for the average.
You see through it.
But it is for people until they can find that enlightenment.
Yeah, you gain discernment on people when you see people have intentions that you might not see. But I mean, when you start to see it, you're like, oh, okay, that person, I see it. You can feel it. You just know. Also, if I could, can I show these?
You already are. Just hold them up higher.
I got the Cardinal tickets here.
Well, you're here. First of all, your camera's looking at you straight ahead. No, your camera straight ahead.
There it is.
And hold and
here's the coolest thing.
And hold the tickets up in the hats when you show them.
Yeah, here's the coolest thing.
Now you're talking to your fans and the people. When you're looking at that camera.
When Craig Morgan said, I said, God's going to put me on platforms to reach people, and he didn't really believe me. And look at this. My name, Blessed Warrior, is my brand for Overcomers, and Bartis. My name is Bart, and I'm an artist, so I go by Bartis, and it's on the Cardinals tickets. That's an amazing, it's so cool. Just for, even if I never sing again, this is just a cool thing right here. But I've got, I just got these hats in. It's Blessed Warrior, brand for Overcomers. These are these like mesh trucker hats here.
Love it.
All different colors, the pink and these look good with the ladies here.
Yeah.
So I just got these in. I've got a website, blessedwarriors.com. You can find, it's being built as we go. I got so much content, so much to do. The web guy can't keep up because every day it's something else. But
are you
can
continuing? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just you can order any shirts. You can see my
What's the website
journey.
name again?
Blessed Warriors. .com with an S.
BlessedWarriors.com.
Yeah, and then you can order shirts and things. Now, I connected with a ministry. I did a revival down in Knoxville last year. Never did a revival. They asked me to come down, and they had me closing out the whole revival under the bridge in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's like the Skid Row of all the homeless, drug addicts, mental people, veterans, handicapped, everybody like just living out there on the streets. Mm-hmm. And I got out there and I was singing, and I got everybody dancing. And they said, Bart,
beautiful.
we had revivalists and preachers from around the nation here. And when you did that, they said, we want to partner with you. And so they said, we could sell your shirts with our shirts. So they fund their drug. It's for people with PTSD, addiction, depression, anxiety, homelessness, and suicidal thoughts. These programs are faith-based, and they get people, the sales from the Blessed Warrior and Soul Savage Ministry shirts get people into drug rehabs across the nation.
Beautiful.
If we're in Colorado doing a show, because I have Blessed Warrior Music now, and we're going to be doing events, I'm going to connect with other singers, inspirational artists and stuff, and just start doing events and raising money to help the people in those communities. And the Blessed Warrior, the shirts, that you get one of these when you do the Cardinal game too. So when you buy the St. Louis Cardinals ticket for Boots at Busch on August 15th, you get a red and white Blessed Warrior t-shirt. You get the ticket and the concert, all for $35. So it's a total promotion just to kind of get the name out there, to get more exposure for everything, and the Cardinals. So Soul Savages, they're coming up from Nashville to get on stage with me, and they're going to talk a little bit before I do the show.
Who is Soul Savage?
Yeah, Soul Savage. Her name is Jennifer Moore. She's a strong woman. She was in prison as well years ago, and God changed her life, and she has this calling. And man, she's a go-getter, and she connected with me, and we're building. And she's in Hawaii now. They're in Hawaii selling the Blessed Warrior shirts and everything. It's all across the country now, and it's an amazing movement. And it's just exciting because, like I said, it's not about me. The money gets people into drug rehabs. The singing is all about getting Blessed Warrior known. I have music look up on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music, iTunes, Bart Wayne, Bartist, Bartist. And
has anybody else gotten you on yet? Has 93.7?
No, you're the first. I just got this song on my way here. The producer sent it because I said I was going on this show, and I'm going to put a post out there. I was like, I wonder who's going to be the first person to play me on the radio, because I know, not because I just know the path. And it's not about me becoming this singer. It's about reaching people. And the music, the way this is coming out, it's like, man, this is happening. And so I'm excited. And you're the first show that had it, because I just played it once in my car on the way here.
All right.
It was a great song.
It really is.
Great.
And the other songs similar? Are they?
Yeah, I've got a rap song. It's called "Here for a Good Time," and that was fun. It was the first thing I did, and it's got my testimony in there, and it make you dance. So
you can check this all out at blessedwarriors.com.
Well, check it out on the streaming services mostly for that.
Okay.
I need people to subscribe and share, because you can't get known out there with your music unless people share it and they start talking about it. So I appreciate this opportunity to be on your show and to get, because Facebook, it's a little algorithm. You can't break through it. They just keep it.
It's tough.
Yeah.
We know.
So
we get it.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. And I'm going to have 3 more songs released. I only have 4 on there right now. That song right now, it takes about a month to be on the streaming services. So I will have 3 more in August. So that'll be 7, and I'll be knocking songs out, And we're also looking to connect. Blessed Warrior, if you have cancer, if you have any kind of disease or anything like that, and you need help raising money, message me on Facebook, Bart Wayne, Bartist, and we'll get together, because I'll supply shirts to your foundation, and then we can set up an affiliate program. I have a QR code. Let's say you need 100 shirts. I'll give you 100 shirts. You set up the QR code. It's your own individual website with just that shirt. So when people come up to the table, they can click on it, and then the money goes to split the money basically of the t-shirt. The 50% goes to your foundation, 50% goes to Blessed Warriors, so we can build the program.
Bart Wayne, beautiful. Man, hey, thanks for coming on. This is fun. I'm glad you had a chance to jump in. Tell everybody what you've got going on, because man, this is an incredible story. You know it, you've lived it, and now we're starting to hear about it. And you've got evidence of, you got your video cameras rolling around you. We'll have a recording. We'll get that to you as well.
And I want to give you guys a shirt as well. So I'll give you a Blessed Warrior shirt. And
do you have a medium for me?
I got it all the sizes.
Got them all.
You just want to wear a medium so you look bigger.
100%.
Like more muscular.
Yeah. That's right. We try to do that. Like I wear my son's shirts.
Right.
Hey, Bart Wayne, thanks for kicking things off with this, buddy. Keep us posted. August 15th, Busch Stadium. It's called Boots
at Busch Concert Series. There's going to be 2 other bands. I don't know the name of them. And I'm probably going to go first, because they go by who has the most seniority and following. I don't have a following yet.
Right.
So definitely go to the streaming services, Bart Wayne Bartist, and social media, Bart Wayne Bartist, TikTok. You can find me on there too. And Thank you.
We'll have you back in. I appreciate it, my friend.
I appreciate it too. Thank you.
All right, ladies and
Your
gentlemen.
voice is amazing.
Thank you.
Bart Wayne, check him out. BlessedWarriors.com. BlessedWarriors.com. Once again, this is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. And this show, we do everything. You know, we do news headlines, politics, cancel culture education, business, and of course, entertainment. We bring people in. I mean, we talked about bringing Bart Wayne in. We've also got coming up, we're going to do something next couple of weeks. Remember T-Double? We had the rapper out of St. Louis. T-Double, we came in and he's like really into politics.
Yeah, he is.
And, you know, he grew up very tough on the streets. And we bring those kinds of stories involved. And it is interesting because he's like, I'm not a conservative. But at the same point in time, he was telling us that Kim Gardner needed to leave.
Right.
And he was against Tashara Jones.
Yes.
And he is harder than hard, badder than bad, growing up where he did in the streets of St. Louis. So we try to bring you these stories. This is a very positive one with Bart Wayne. I'm so excited. And, you know, I've seen Bart around and known him a little bit, but I never knew the full story. Never wanted to, you know, pry upon that. But I'm glad that he could come in and tell you a little bit more about who he is. But I can tell you this one thing about Bart. When you're around people, you can tell if there's something that's about them that's special, that's different, that draws you in. And it certainly felt it with Bart.
When he came in, to me, I don't know if any of you've heard this word, but he seems to me to be highly favored by God. And there are people that are highly favored by God, and they can take something so awful and turn it to so good. And if they follow what God has for them, their highly favored status with God, there's no stopping them.
When you accept it and can live it, it's easier said than done, because all of us can be highly favored.
100%.
And truly
he
blessed.
just knows that. All of us can be highly favored.
I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house running the board as well. When we talk about stories that we've been covering, one thing that was just crazy in the midst of everything going on yesterday, clearly we had the Hunter Biden situation going on. That was a national story. Eventually pleading not guilty after the judge would not accept his plea deal regarding a situation, you know, that, you're not going to be facing anything in the future. She said, no, I'm not going to be had like this. Well, while this was going on, we also had Mitch McConnell.
Oh gosh, Mitch.
I have no idea what the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, he's not a very popular guy.
No,
and it's been his own dealing. And, you know, Democrats don't like him. Republicans don't like him. But when you see what happened, when I first saw this, I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was cupcake induced. I don't know if it's, you know, what happens with an old age. I don't know if he just lost his train of thought.
I've got a couple text messages. People are saying that it's actually, they're attributing it to a stroke.
He did have a stroke within the year. He did have a stroke. And this is a stroke-like behavior where your face just completely zones and your eyes go straight ahead. But did he have the stroke because he took the cupcake? Or is it just because he's old? Or I don't know.
This happened yesterday. So here's Mitch McConnell and everything that happened with him. It's scary and sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Go back.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
Could you address what happened here at the start of the press conference, and was it related to your injury from earlier this year where you suffered a concussion? Is that?
No, I'm fine.
You're fine, you're fully able to do your job?
Mr. Lear, can I just get your reaction to...
Okay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
That just happened with that. That is concerning as hell.
It is concerning.
Okay. He came back.
He did come back.
Yeah, he came back and answered a couple of questions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you know it can't be a full-blown stroke. It would have had to have been like a mini stroke, like a TIA, something like that. But I'm seeing people on the chat line saying he looks like he literally missed gears in his brain. Like he completely was a robot that just stopped.
If you watch his eyes really closely, you can see the short circuiting as it's
Yes. You can see the short circuit exactly when it's happening.
I just
bizarre.
I don't know why he came back. I don't think that was. I'm fine.
Yes.
He answered a couple questions, but it was like, I'm here.
He looked exhausted.
He did, and I'm sure he is exhausted. I mean, that is exhausting to have.
I mean, call me crazy. You can't function in that position if you go out and that's what happened and you show that. You just can't. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not listening to any. He should not be, just like Joe Biden should not be out there. Joe Biden should not be the president of the United States. We all know that. He is not capably fit. He's not fit mentally, physically. He can't do it. Mitch McConnell, on the other side, he should not be in that office.
Correct.
He should not be working today. I know he had a situation happened earlier. He almost died. That's scary as hell.
It is.
To allow him to go back out there and talk.
That's the state of politics these days. Like Fetterman, he shouldn't be out there either. Where are these people's families?
Feinstein.
Yes.
She was refusing to leave office. She was sick in California.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jeannie says he's aged tremendously since he fell. And it happens.
Yes.
If anybody's had a loved one, I mean,
yes,
it all kind of goes together. You don't age because you fell. It's all happening at the same
time. Yes.
I witnessed that limit. Abe, quote of the day, term limits. Another reason why we should have term limits.
Yes.
You should not be. And the reason people stay is because they get rich. They don't stay because it's a thankless job unless you're padding the books.
Yes.
You're getting insider information. Mm-hmm. You're able to invest on a situation. You're able to make money, get connections. We all know there should be term limits, and why people are not fighting for term limits, I have no idea. It is interesting too, because when you look, one of the things that Josh Hawley has done too, and I know U.S. Senator from Missouri, and I back Hawley for doing this, he is really trying to lead the charge where people on committees, politicians on committees, should not be able to invest money on insider information that they have. I'm sorry. I agree 100%. Look at what Joe Biden had when he went into office. Look at what many politicians had from a financial standpoint when they went into office. Look at the money they made while they were politicians, allegedly serving. Serving who? Themselves, their bank accounts, their families. But now you have a situation that's happening in the Senate. Check out a list of the senators right now who voted no on a bill that would ban Congress members from stock trading. And I'm sorry, if you're going to be a congressman, you should not be allowed to stock trade. You should.
No, absolutely
we have seen
not.
This inside out, over and around.
Yes.
You get information. You know where the government's putting money.
Mm-hmm.
You know where companies are heading. You know what's happening. It's total bullshit when you have insider information and you can go use the stock trading.
Correct.
Then you have not one of these politicians should be in office today. These are all the senators who voted no, who said we should be able to use the stock market. Yet these are senators who are benefiting because of insider information. Democrat, Senator Dick Durbin. Feinstein, Democrat, of course. White House Democrat. Amy Klobuchar, Democrat. Chris Coons, Democrat. Richard Blumenthal, Democrat. Mazie Hiroshino, Democrat. Booker, Senator Booker, no. Alex Padilla, no. Another Democrat. Peter Welch, Democrat, no. And then two Republicans, John Cornyn and Senator Tom Tillis, no. These are all congressmen, senators who voted against the bill, which would eliminate any idea of using stock trades, insider information to make money. And this is what Josh Hawley is trying to push forward. So these are the senators that voted no. Do you care? Maybe, maybe not. Should you care? In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
should
you
care.
shouldn't.
You should.
Because corruption is the last thing we need in government. The more corruption we
Correct.
can take out, the better. And people are making money on insider information.
Yes.
Now, I have a friend who said, "Who cares? Whatever. They've got inside. They're still taking a chance. They're still
Right.
taking a risk. Yeah, but it's a lot different when you're stock trading and you know about 90% sure something's going to happen.
Yes, you've got the inside scoop no one else has.
It makes it a little easier for you to invest that money
Yes.
and to get some insider trading advice, which is why just stay away from it. There's no reason for any of us to jump in at all and talk about that. So those are some things that are happening. I don't. Mitch McConnell should step away. I'm sorry. His age,
Yes,
what has
he
happened.
should.
He's not a popular figure by all accounts. He's not somebody that people say we have to have.
No.
But is he connected? Does his money go to help people? Yeah. Yeah. He's got a coffer that's massive that helps with lower elections, that helps with senators who are coming into office. These things are happening. He has that money. He's trying to do that. Anyway, that's what happens. Okay. We also had another massive situation that happened yesterday. We had another hearing. All this going on. Hunter Biden in court. Hunter Biden in court. Mitch McConnell short-circuiting. UFO talks. And just wait till you hear the sound bites that we're going to play for you as well. Okay, so they had a hearing yesterday. And never in my lifetime did I ever feel as if we would have people sitting talking to members of Congress, or a person talking to members of Congress saying, yeah, we've got a massive problem because the American people are being kept in the dark about UFOs.
Right.
Did you see any of this
I
come down
saw,
yesterday?
yeah, I did see a little bit of it, just having to keep switching between the two. And I thought exactly the same as you did. This is something that we would have seen in the 1915s, 60s in the Twilight Zone. And it's playing right out in our government and our politics right now. Now, is there UFOs? That's another. Of course, there's extraterrestrials, but is there UFOs? People say those are two different things.
Well,
mixing them up.
The whistleblower came yesterday, claimed that there's a cover-up.
Yes.
That there's crashed spacecraft and alien remains that the government has known about, we've had for decades, that we've secretly been recovering mysterious spaceships and found biological material of non-human origin. The sound bites that we'll play for you are they'll blow your mind. It's I don't know what to make of this because it's all happening. It's like I'm in a situation, Lizzie, and to our viewers and listeners, where it's like, okay, it's hard for me to trust anything anymore.
Me too.
Why is it happening right now? Is something really going on?
Yes.
Why have we really been able to do a cover up? Are people just being sent out to do whatever they want right now? Hey, let's get people's mind off a certain
yes,
and do whatever we possibly can. So Projo's going to pop that our UFO sounds up. The sound bites from yesterday because it's playing. Does it stop here? Do we continue on? Are we going to get more hearings? What happens after a hearing?
Right. What
is
happens
information
next?
Uncovered?
I think they drop it. It's just a diversion. It's a deflection on what they're hiding.
Projo, let us know when you rock and roll and you have some of the sound bites that came from yesterday because yeah, okay, go ahead, play, buddy.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Biologics.
Yeah.
Did you get that? Biologics.
No, I did. It's fascinating. No, it's fascinating.
Yes, it is.
Of what's happening.
Yeah.
I think I sent you another one, Joe. We have another different soundbite, not those two, but him talking to another woman. When you pop that up, put that up there as well, please, because do we have another one besides this guy? I think that guy's coming up in just a second, right? I think we're doing that.
We had to see him first, though. That was a good looking guy there.
Yeah. Here's what I wanted to show you.
Were you visiting
Sammy Hagar from Howard Stern? He swears to God everything that he tells you right now did happen. that he was visited by an alien. Now, this goes all the way back to the 60s. And now the first thing is like, oh, he's doing drugs. He's hallucinating. But if you haven't seen this yet, check out Sammy's description to Howard Stern.
By aliens as well?
Yeah, and I had a UFO experience, and that was in 67, 68.
And you weren't high or anything?
No, I didn't do drugs. I didn't even drink back then.
And who visited?
They just randomly picked me, and I woke up while they were doing it. I'm going, what the fuck's going on? My room was white. I mean, I was like, I couldn't see anything. It was a complete whiteout. I laid there, couldn't move. All of a sudden, they said in another language, just telepathy, this is done. You know, he's waking up or whatever. And they yelled a numerical code that was obviously, you know, like your passcode to get into your shit, you know? Yeah. And boom, it was almost like a wire in the air. And I woke up and it was black and I was shaking and I couldn't move.
And when when you tell that story, guys like Jason look at you like you're crazy. He's back there making hand signals like cuckoo.
He's jealous.
He's jealous. Aren't you jealous?
I've never heard that story yet.
Well, he's been visited. Why him?
I just kept thinking, like, did they like do sexual things?
Did they put a catheter up your penis?
No. There wasn't physical. It was from a distance. They programmed into me. They like, you know, they wireless.
Do you think they programmed that you would one day be the lead singer of a band?
No. I think that opened my mind. It was like a big acid trip, brother.
Like a big acid trip, brother.
Talking about being visited by aliens.
Have you ever been visited by aliens?
No, I don't look forward to it.
Right.
And that's fine. Not into it. I'm doing just fine.
Right. Joe, have you ever been visited by UFOs or aliens?
No experience with aliens.
Yeah,
paranormal, but not aliens.
Correct. I think that's the case with most people. There's probably some paranormal behavior that people have seen in a haunted house, and you know, even my kids say that my granddaughter can see somebody we can't see. All 5 of my kids have seen it at different times, but we can't say an alien has ever been in our house. Maybe paranormal.
Yeah. You don't know. But aliens are becoming very intelligent, if they weren't already, in regards to interacting with humans.
Right. Of course they are.
Where we shouldn't
doubt that.
They're afraid of us, I think. They're looking at us like, what the hell are up with humans?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Case in point,
go down there.
Case in point, this video that we have found in regards to aliens trying to figure us out.
How many genders are there?
72. It's hard to know, really. It's changing all the time.
So, your species is evolving that rapidly. Remarkable. Perhaps while you are sitting here, you will grow additional limbs or develop the ability to breathe underwater.
No, that's not what we meant.
It's too bad. So, what are these genders, and how do they function?
Function? I don't understand.
Why, yes. On my planet, the female gender is the giver of life, raising and nurturing our young, preserving our civilization for eons to come, while the males mostly just mow our space lawns and make multiple trips to Space Home Depot.
What you're talking about is sex. Gender is something different.
Exactly. People can identify with genders different than their natal sex, or with none at all.
But why?
It's just the way we feel.
No! It was the way we're born.
Well, of course, a lot of times they don't realize how they were born until someone tells them. Someone like a teacher or social media influencer.
Oh, I understand. On this planet, there are people who are men, and people who are women, and people who are mentally ill.
There you go. Boom. That's it. Men, women, and the mentally ill. That's what I think. I really do. And have you ever seen the stories of the kids that are transgenders? That's who the schools are going after, is the kids that come in there for counseling and they're having a mental breakdown or they're having mental issues. And that's who they're preying on. I mean, it really is that simple, in my opinion. You're either a girl or a boy, or you're mixed in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with your body parts. It doesn't. You talk to one transgender that has not been, and I'm going to say something pretty broad, but I believe that has not in their childhood had significant trauma. And usually it's of the sexual nature. Find one. You won't. Think of that.
That's true. I know that's a very good point.
Find one. You can't. There is something that happened to them in their childhood that was catastrophic, and they're vulnerable to people telling them that the reason why you're so happy is because you're a boy. I know your sex is that you're a girl, but your gender is that you're a boy. So you already take this very confused human that has already been abused and bam, there you are. Now you're a transgender. And then later on, if they do get help and they do start to come out of this fog of child abuse, it's just catastrophic what we're doing. I totally think it's a mental problem.
Well, that's what the alien thinks. And
the alien is right. Come on, the alien is right.
If we get any more updates on the alien, we'll certainly pass that along to you. A couple other big stories that popped open today while we were during the show and interviews. Ron DeSantis, we talked about him earlier this week. They've basically just blown up their campaign. Their campaign manager said, we've had an ineffective campaign, spent way too much money. It did not work. Suggesting it's like, okay, we've pretty much given up. They didn't say they were giving up, but for all intents and purposes, we know when you're waving the white flag. However, DeSantis now coming out, trying to jump on the RFK.
I saw that. Yeah.
He's not ready to nominate him for a possible VP pick. However, saying that he would nominate him or could nominate him for the FDA head job or the CDC. So that would be interesting. I don't know if that's something that RFK would want, but RFK, of course, getting brought up.
He would be good at that job.
Well, he has momentum.
Yes.
He has popularity, because not within the Democratic Party necessarily, but he has no shot to win it because of what the DNC will do. They'll never nominate him to push through.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting that DeSantis is trying to use his popularity,
right?
RFK's, that is, to bring onto his ticket.
Well, think about how that ticket would be. If DeSantis and RFK Jr. were a ticket, it would be a pretty doggone good ticket, I think.
It's one that could reach a lot of people.
Yes.
Don't forget, RFK is a Democrat. He is a Democrat.
Yes.
He wasn't in on the whole cupcake train, clearly.
True. That is true.
But is DeSantis just like, okay, I'm screwed as a person. I got to have somebody else that can help me. I mean, because number one, you don't vote for a president who the vice president is.
That is true. You don't.
Hey, that could be a possibility in the future. But if he's not strong enough to be by himself and he needs somebody else to try to help get him over a hump, then that's an issue. At least I see, unless I'm mistaken, but I don't see that happening. Also, Bud Light, that we haven't talked about it in a couple of weeks, but they've now had to lay off hundreds of workers because they continue to lose money. They still do. Bud Light is still struggling. It hasn't hit rock bottom yet, which is shocking.
Yeah.
They have come out and said that the corporate structure changes are going to enable their teams to focus on what they do best, brewing great beer for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So they have layoffs now. They include corporate and marketing roles at U.S. offices in St. Louis, New York, and L.A. Now, we hate to hear of layoffs for anybody, especially where we broadcast in the heart of where Anheuser-Busch was born, L.A., St. Louis, and New York, losing jobs.
Yes.
Especially for people who did not agree with Bud Light did, but this is what happens. They're down over 30% from last year at the same exact time. And, they have about 18,000 workers across the United States. Fox News reached out to Anheuser-Busch for comment, but of course they did not get back to them.
I'm sure they didn't.
There's really not much you can say because everything that Bud Light said is we're doubling down on this.
Yes.
We back what we do. We back. So when your company is saying that, we can feel sorry for you as workers who get laid off.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, I mean, that's the company. That's what happens.
Right.
If the people at the top of the company who you work for are screwing everything up, it's going to roll downhill. That's what happens. So now they said that they're going to cut staff lightly. So they're prioritizing their future long-term success. But I don't know what plan. I mean, maybe in time people will forgive Bud Light. Maybe their base will come back. I don't know if they're going to be able to create a new base. It's not as if beer drinkers are an expanding group of people.
Right.
And it's not as if people who weren't drinking Bud Light before are going to start drinking Bud Light.
Yeah.
It's just not.
And this boycott seems different than some, where we have a very short attention span here in the United States. 2 weeks is usually it, and then we're on to something else. But Bud Light, people are still boycotting.
Yeah,
they are really mad.
They never apologized for their
Correct.
partnership.
They never
with Dylan.
apologized.
And Brendan Wentworth, who is the CEO, I'm just, hey, clearly he's done a lot more in his life to get to where he is. And kudos to him, but he is now the face of destroying a brand that was one of the most iconic the world has ever seen. I said the world, not the country, the world.
The world.
Especially when it comes to a consumption beverage. And this dude, man, what a disaster. Yeah, we're going to stand by that. We recognize over the last 2 months, the discussion surrounding our company and Bud Light has moved away from beer. And this has impacted our consumers, our business partners, and our employees. He's just that typical person that refuses to apologize, refuses to admit they're wrong, grew up with people telling him how great he was as a kid, that he was never wrong, because this is a pride issue. It's a pride that you screwed up big time. Admit it, move on. They'd probably get some people back, but he's not.
Nope.
He's not. We're a beer company. We're a beer company for everyone, not. As we move forward, we will focus on what we do best, and that's brewing beer. Okay, they fell out of the top 10 for beers. By the way, Coors Light and Miller Lite. Hey, thanks. Just keep running your mouth, Whitworth.
Just keep doing it.
By the way, when it comes to specific information, the sales of Coors Light and Miller Lite increased by 25.8%. Coors Light went up. Miller went up 21.4% over the same time that Bud Light dropped all of that.
Yes.
They're expected to release their quarterly financial report next week, which is expected to be a disaster again. So the fallout continues for Bud Light.
Yes.
Once again, go woke, go broke. CMT not doing much better either after having the major country stars pulling out, taking their videos off CMT as well. CMT thought they'd be really cool. Yeah, we're going to be woke, man. We're going to take this video down. And once again, another dumbass decision by dumbass people with that don't have any sort of social idea of what's actually happening. The best part are all the memes that are out and all the country music fans who are black. Who are supporting Jason Aldean. National media won't show you that because that doesn't fall in line with local or national media and the stories that are run and put out there because, oh no, we have an agenda that we have to cover. We're not going to cover the full story. We'll tell you about CMT taking Aldean videos down, but we're not going to show you all the support that he has at the same point in time.
Yes. Way more support.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow's a free for all Friday. We're going to put something together for that.
Yes, I love it. It's probably my favorite day of
if
the
you
week.
guys have things that are going on, let us know. We kind of got into a little bit with UFOs today. Just let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. Let us know if there's something that's got you going, if there's something you're thinking about, if you have partners, friends, people that want to associate with us, do their show here, not only from renting the studio, which we can start you up with your podcast. You can have something when you walk out an hour later. But also if it's a podcast that you've been doing or wanted to grow and wanted to join our network. We have some shows now. Another one's already, we got one in for sure. We got 3 more that we're talking to build this network of shows.
Yes, it's going to be great. And we're just begun. It's going to be great. And like you said, we had to stabilize one show and then see if we could all get that to just blossom, which it has. And now people are jumping on and the network's going to be, I'm not going to say what it's going to be, but it's going to be very fun.
Yeah, we got some good things coming.
Fun.
We're excited about it. We're grateful. It's because you guys make it. If you guys didn't watch, listen, subscribe, share, all the things that you do, then there wouldn't be a show. So we're grateful for that. You guys make it happen. If you know of people, let us know. If you know of businesses that want to partner with us, try us out as an advertiser to see if we can help their business, not only in the St. Louis area, but across the country. Let us know. We'll do what we can do to get that all set up. So we appreciate you joining us today for this edition of cancelthisshow.com. For Pro Joe and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, have a great day. Remember to check out all of our content on cancelthisshow.com.